Hey YouTube, thanks for joining the Everyday Prepper and the Homesteading series. Today we're talking about water. In particular, we have three main categories, and that's going to be water procurement, filtration and purification, and lastly, storage. Now, when we talk about procurement, we're talking about how to get water. It's very simple. It could be from rainwater catchments. So you definitely may want to have some gutters on your home or your barn or shed or whatever the structure is. You'd be surprised a lot of people don't have gutters. And I'm not saying you need to have gutters, but if you're trying to collect a lot of rainwater, especially off of like a metal roof, it's going to be really helpful to have gutters that can funnel down the water into a barrel or cistern. You can also do other types of harvesting of water, such as local water reserves. It could be streams, ponds, lakes, or from rivers. So know where the sources of water are. And so that's the first thing, is to be able to get water. And if you live in an area that you can dig a well, that's going to be very helpful and highly recommended. So investigate the types of sources for water in your area. The next one is the filtration purification. It goes everywhere from the DIY, the do-it-yourself, to the more advanced pre-made setups that are commercially available on the market today. A DIY example would be like to take some 5-gallon buckets and drill some holes in the bottom, or put a spigot at the bottom of the bucket. You could have them, several stacked, or just have one this way, depending on how much filtration material do you want. And you can fill it in layers. For example, on the very bottom, you could have some smaller gravel. On top of that, you could have some sand. On top of that, you could have a layer of charcoal. And then you could put some more sand on top of that, and then more charcoal. And then on top of that, you could go with other different types of mediums, depending on in your area that you have as a resource, or you could actually go ahead and purchase those separately somewhere else. But basically, you would want to layer various materials that can help filter the any kind of particulates that are undesirable in your water. So you want to, investigate what kind of level of purification and what type of items and materials that you would need to build that. So in effect, it could be like a DIY type of gravity-fed type of filter system. The next part of this would be your personal filtration systems if you are mobile. And of course, you could use these if you're not mobile too, but they're made to be very compact and mobile. Like the filter straws, personal filters that are very small, only weigh maybe an ounce or two. They can be hung around your neck or put in a pocket. And there's a lot of brands now that are available. Just in the last few years, a lot of them have just popped up, and they filter a lot of stuff. They definitely do a good job, and they go so far as being more than just a filter, also to help purify your water. And so the next level would be for a little higher volume type of water, filtering and purification, and that would be hand pump filters. And this would be obviously more desirable if you have a decent sized group, or even a family sized group of 4 or more, because you don't want to be walking around with just these, straws, like water straws and stuff, filters that everybody has to use individually. So you would definitely want to have some type of gravity-fed, larger system, individual systems, and a means to pump water out of maybe like a water reserve pond, for example, or whatnot. And so that's another option for sure. And after hand pumps, I would say, going back to the main one, especially for the home, that would be more stationary. Of course, you could still package this so it is mobile. But the gravity filters, once again, it's going to be something like a big Berkey. Really is going to be one of the better ones if you're wanting something that's really set up for long-term use and really purifies the water and filters it to a level that is very acceptable with all different types of water that is compromised. So, check into these brands, Berkey, you have Life Straw, And basically the list goes on and on. And so if you're into this, don't forget to check out Sawyer products. But once again, there's a lot. And then lastly here, let's just kind of mention storage. In your homestead, it is really good to diversify all the locations of your water storage. So having a water system, maybe like underground in a cistern, would be a good option. Maybe have several of those. Maybe have some 50-gallon drums, maybe in the garage. Maybe have the 5, 6, or 7-gallon aquatainers or comparables. Basically, some water jugs in the home, and have at least a few months of water, so that you can actually give everybody their at least 1 to 2 gallon minimum a day, so they can actually have something to drink, cook with, and have basic hygiene needs met. So that's going to be something right there. And just make sure your containers, if they are plastic or polymer, are BPA free. And don't forget, the kind of almost like in-your-face types of containers that we just kind of don't think about. It could be the water heater, that has a lot of water that's stored in there if you ever need to tap into it. Or the holding tank for the toilet. It could be an emergency reserve of water. Your sauna or jacuzzi, that holds quite a bit of water. And of course, your pool can hold a lot. So especially in the summertime, if there's an emergency, I would probably cover your pool to reduce evaporation, to retain as much water in the pool. So if you have to use that water, you have it. And so lastly, though, don't forget about fish tanks. And even if you just went out, and got some 5-gallon buckets with lids and put water in there, or got those, they have these bladders that you can lay them out in the tub. And if you have a little bit of forewarning or advanced knowledge that they're going to be compromising, or someone's going to compromise, or that there's a problem possibly with the water system or delivery of the system, and it's going to be shut off, you could fill up that bladder, and so the entire size of the bathtub can be filled. It's like a water bladder for the tub, and so that could be something to invest in. They're not that expensive. And of course, all the little small containers that would be on your person for like travel and stuff, such as maybe a Nalgene or equivalent bottles, those 1-liter bottles, or the Clean Canteen stainless steel bottles. They come in all different kind of sizes. I think up to like 60 ounces, I believe. And those are really nice. And of course, any other type of canteen system. So this is the homesteading series on water. Just think about those whole parameters of all the different aspects of your needs. And you may even want to go further, instead of just having filters, but maybe use chemicals to treat your water. But I just don't think it's the safest means. So I'm not the biggest fan of iodine, and I'm definitely not a fan for using chlorine to treat your water. Only in extreme emergencies. Then, if you're going to have the option of dying of dehydration or have chlorine tablets in your water, I would go with the chlorine. But just know that it does have health effects that are negative to the body. So hopefully this helps. Thanks for watching.